Hello and welcome to the vlog. There's not a lot to vlog about at the moment because Christmas is a-coming and there's not really a lot going on. But you know, as winter draws on and the nights are long and the days are short, there's nothing I like more than sitting here by the stove and watching a little bit of YouTube. And I thought I would share with you in this vlog some of the other YouTube channels that I particularly enjoy. Now these are not narrowboating YouTube channels because frankly, if you're watching me, you probably already know about the other narrowboating channels, even though new ones seem to be popping up every week. But there are plenty of other good YouTube channels that I also like to sit and watch on the old iPad, and I thought I'd just go through some of those. Now, in terms of the narrowboating channels, what I'm going to do is make a list of the ones that I know about and put that on my website. I'll leave a link to that in the video description below. And I will also leave links to the channels that I'm about to go through as well. And I watch many YouTube channels, so I can't possibly go through all of the ones that I watch. These are just a selection of particular favourites that you might be interested in. You might already watch them, you might know about them and be as much of a fan of them as I am. But I thought I'd just run through some of these and hopefully there'll be something new there to tickle your taste buds in the YouTube channel list for your subscriptions. These are in alphabetical order, so no favoritism here. These aren't starting at number 1 and going to number 10 or whatever. It's just by their channel name in alphabetical order. And let us start with Adventure Adrift. This is a young couple, Hilary and Ty, who met about 4 years ago in 2012, I believe, and they both love travelling. They like seeing the world. Ty's been to Nepal and Hilary's been to, I think, Central America. I may have got those two the wrong way round, but anyway, they love travel. And about a year ago, they decided that the best way to explore this love of seeing the world was to quit their jobs and buy a sailing boat. And that's exactly what they've done. They did that about a year ago, and they have been posting up video blogs of their travels ever since. And there are several things I like about their vlog. Firstly, of course, is the interest of seeing the places they're filming and talking about. Secondly, it's the adventure, the excitement of the voyage. I think partially I like their style of vlogging because it's a bit similar to mine, in as much as they pop up and do a piece to camera in amongst voiceover bits of what they're talking about. So it's similar to me. I'll pop up and say, hi, here's me talking about a thing, and then we cut to some shots of it and there's some voiceover, and they do a similar sort of thing. So perhaps I'm partial to it for that reason. But it's nice stuff. It's another of those interesting takes on sailing the world. There are so many sailing channels on YouTube. It's just unbelievable how many there are, with different channels with different approaches and different number of subscribers. If you type sailing vlog into YouTube, it's just a gazillion hits. So some of them I like, some of them I don't like, some of them I find a bit pretentious and a bit too fond of themselves. But I do really like Adventure Adrift. They seem like nice people, they've got good content, and they post up nicely edited videos. So I would urge you to have a little look at them. The next channel to give a big thumbs up to is, of course, Exploring Alternatives. Matt and Danielle, a Canadian couple who have a channel all about different alternative lifestyles, whether that's on boats or in RVs, motorhomes, or people living in yurts. They go around Canada and I think some parts of America as well, filming people who have these interesting alternative lifestyles. And of course, you may be aware they featured me. I shot some footage of myself, sent it over to them, and they edited it into this really nice piece. I'm not saying that because it's my footage. They edited it really nicely and it turned into a very nice bit of video. And that is true of all their videos. They film them really beautifully, they edit them really well, and they are exploring all these interesting ways of living, from yurt to sailing boats to RVs to anything you can think of. Solar power, self-sufficiency, exploring alternatives. It's a really good channel. Its subscriber numbers are growing at a terrific rate. Just a couple of months ago when they had me on, they'd just gone through the 100,000 subscriber numbers. Now I see they've got 160,000, and you can see why, because the videos are really good. It's good content, it's good interviewees, it's good filming, it's nicely edited, nicely scripted, well put together. If you haven't already taken a look at exploring alternatives, I would certainly urge you to have a look there. I've already mentioned one sailing channel in Adventure Adrift, but of course we also have to give a shout out to Gone with the Winds, who surely you must already watch or be aware of, and if you're not, definitely go and have a look. Now, they started out a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, in an RV. It was an RVing channel. They had one of these, well, they've been through several RVs, but they're all this classic, massive American motorhome, the size of a bus, the kind of thing that if you tried to drive it here in the UK, you'd get 100 yards down the road and then realise you'd get stuck because our roads are too small. It's got slides, things that slide out at the side and make the RV about double its actual travelling size. Fantastic thing. And they documented their travels for about 4 years in the RV. And then, about 9 months ago or so, they said, that's enough. We've done the RVing lifestyle. We want to see the world, not just America. And they've completely switched and bought themselves a catamaran sailboat. And now, after some tuition and some gentle cruising down bits of America around Florida way, I think, they have gone over to the Bahamas, and the plan is pretty much to see the world. And Nikki and Jason, they are young and vibrant and full of enthusiasm. My God, I wish I had just a tenth of their joie de vivre. They are so upbeat and so likeable and so damn nice. And they produce some fantastic videos. It's beautifully shot. They've got drone footage. They cut it really nicely. It's beautifully shot with music and everything. And it's fun. They draw you along with their videos. It's just nice video. If one of their videos pops up in your timeline, you know you're in for a treat. There's a story, it unfolds, they show you this nicely shot stuff. There's none of this vloggy stuff where they're waving the camera around, hoovering up shots randomly like a lot of the sailing vlogs do. They actually bother getting the scissors out and cutting it and sticking it together and making a nice vlog. So Gone with the Winds, if you haven't had a look at it, do have a look. And quite apart from anything else, they deserve a view simply for that title. I was mentioning RVs there, and another of the RV channels I do like to watch is Love Your RV. This is Ray and his wife who tour around in their, I sort of call it a caravan, they call it a fifth wheel. They tow it on this giant truck thing. And he's got a very gentle, amiable style about him, has Ray. He's got a lovely beagle dog as well who features in some of his videos called Angie. And what he posts up is lots of hints and tips and product reviews. He reviewed, for example, the Lensun solar panels that I also did a review on, only unlike me, he didn't break his, so they're still working. And he turned his panel into a sort of portable panel that you could put out at different locations. Instead of mounting it permanently, he made it up as this portable panel thing. Anyway, the point is, he does Wi-Fi booster reviews and reversing camera reviews and all this other stuff, as well as maintenance on your RV, and of course some shots of the places he goes to visit in his RV. So it's a nice, amiable, gentle style with lots of useful information, and it doesn't just work for RVs, of course. Some of this stuff would work if you're in other touring vehicles as well. He did a review of a backup camera system for his RV, and I thought, do you know what, I could stick one of those on the front of my boat with the monitor at the back, and it would help me see around corners, something people have suggested to me in the past. And there it was, this wireless video system. I thought maybe I should look into one of those. So some of the stuff he's got, the point I'm making is that it translates to more than just RVs, and it's definitely worth a look at his channel. He's got about 22,000 subscribers. It's growing at a good rate, and there's some good discussion goes on in the comments as well, so that's also worth a look. One of the other channels I enjoy watching is simply called Mike and Lauren, and as you guessed it, it's a couple, Mike and Lauren, and their very young baby. He's only a few months old, I think. And what they've been doing is going around in an RV, big old RV again, American style thing, giant thing, towing on the back of the RV, if that wasn't enough, this trailer that they've made up full of Mike's tools. He is a maker of things, and in fact they've got another channel called Makers on the Move, which is allied to what they're doing on the main channel. They're going around towing this trailer, turning up at viewers' home addresses and making things for them and vlogging not only their travels but also the projects that they're building. And they're an ambitious young couple. They've got this ambition to make enough money to retire by 30, and I think the channel started out way back when as their documenting of their quest to make enough money to retire on, and it's turned into this RV channel where they're going around doing things. Now they're going through a bit of a change at the moment. They've decided the RV is too big with this trailer on the back, so they're going to ditch the RV and tow the trailer with a truck of some sort and semi-convert the trailer into both a workshop and a living area. And how this is all going to play out is going to be quite interesting, as I say, not least because they've got this very young baby who's just a few months old. They do nice vlogs, it's interesting stuff, it's an unusual take on life. It's not the usual RVing channel, but definitely check them out, have a look. It's an interesting tale that I think will be worth watching as it unfolds. And I'm going to stay on the RV theme with another channel, RVer TV, which is, as you guessed, it's a channel all about the RVing lifestyle. This is Russ, a chap who's currently hosted down in some place called Quartzsite, Arizona, which I think is somewhere in the desert. And it looks like he and a load of other RVers go there for the winter, which sounds like a jolly good idea because the temperatures are very pleasant. And his channel, I initially stumbled across it because he was kitting out a trailer to be a little mini RV, and he was towing that behind, I think again he had some sort of truck, but now he's got an SUV type vehicle, and he's got a nice dog, Scooby, who's not been too well lately but is hopefully doing a little better. Anyway, the point is he's towing this trailer around. He's got a massive RV again, as Americans do seem to have, and he's doing videos of life on the road and also life in this place Quartzsite. I think that's mostly what his winter videos are going to be about. And it's a very gentle, amiable style. He sets up his time-lapse camera sometimes and shows you time-lapses of the place he's at. Sometimes he just sticks his GoPro in the window of his truck and shows you whatever he's looking at as he drives up and down Route 101 or wherever it is on the west coast of America. And you've got an amusing little style of just pointing out the obvious as he's looking. Look at the clouds and look at the bridges and look at the tunnels. But it's sort of nice. It's the stuff you possibly don't even look at and appreciate as you're going along. And he does. He likes everything he's looking at. It's sort of fun. It's another way of looking at life. And I do enjoy a bit of RVer TV. There are two channels left to mention in my list of vlogs I enjoy, and for this one we're not in America at all. We are in fact over in Denmark. Gotta say a big hello to Mads over on Sail Life. Now Mads is a sailor and he lives on board a boat called Obelix with his dog Yerkel, who I've probably pronounced incorrectly, and he does like his DIY on board his boat. In fact, he likes it so much that he recently came over to Scotland and bought Athena, which he sailed back from Scotland to Denmark. And while he's living on Obelix, he's going over to Athena and refitting it. I think many people would have taken Athena and said, yeah, this is a nice boat, I'm going to live on it and sail it. But oh no, not Mads. This is a man who enjoys sanding, and he does it properly. He puts on a proper, like, emergency style mask thing and goes about sanding with much aplomb. And surprisingly, though it might not sound like it, these videos are very compelling. He does film them very nicely. Films them in 4K on a little Panasonic GH4. He's got a proper mic system, same radio mic system I use, so nice audio quality. Really takes care about his videos. And he's very chipper and very cheerful, and whether he's sanding or cutting or doing something with his diesel stove, this is a man who loves refitting his boat. I secretly think he doesn't want to go sailing at all. I think when he's fitted out Athena, he's going to go, let's go sailing. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll buy another boat and refit that one. I just have a feeling that's going to come in about a year's time. But he is a man who did a 9-part series about insulating his boat, and somehow it was still interesting. So if you haven't checked out Sail Life, go over there. He loves interacting with his viewers. There's a lot of dialogue in the comments, and he looks for suggestions. He likes getting people to say what colour of kitchen worktop he should use. It's definitely one of those videos that when you see it pop up in your channel subscription list on a Sunday night, cancel everything, there's a new video from Sail Life and you will click on watch. And the final channel I'm going to give a mention to, last but by no means least, it's VDub Van Life. Now, I do have a bit of a soft spot for VW type camper vans. And Theo and B bought a camper, I can't remember how long ago it was, but it was a couple of years, I think at least. And they've been travelling around in it, travelling all around Europe. And some of the footage they've come back with is amazing, particularly the stuff in Norway, the stuff they filmed in Iceland. They've filmed vlogs about life in the camper. They've filmed vlogs about the beautiful, gorgeous places they've been to. It's nicely put together again, nicely edited stuff. They're a very appealing couple. They're nicely complementary to each other. They do these nice vlogs, and they have actually now come back to the UK and bought a narrowboat. They're not doing narrowboat vlogs. They're still posting up some of the footage that they took in their recent trips to, I think it's the Norway stuff most recently, but also some of their Iceland tour. But go back through their back catalogue and they've had an amazing time touring. And again, it's just nice vloggy stuff with an appealing couple telling nice stories of their adventures, and it makes you think, quite fancy buying a camper van and doing some of that as well. In fact, they've nipped off to Portugal for the winter. They are living on their boat, but they've very sensibly nipped off to find some winter sun in a camper van again, and I'm hoping they're taking some footage and they're going to put that up on their channel as well. But definitely check that out. For all these channels, I'm going to leave links in the video description below, so do take a look. There are many others I will have missed. I know you'll have your favourites. You'll be saying, why didn't you mention this channel or that channel? Well, there are just many, many channels out there, as we all know, and I couldn't possibly mention them all. That's about it from this vlog, except one final thing to mention, and that is a blatant plug for an e-book written by a friend of mine, Roger Distill. He's one of the moorers at Yelvertoft, and he's written this rather good book. It's only £1.99, absolute flipping bargain. And he said, would I give it a mention? And this was a bit awkward because I don't like mentioning things here on the channel unless I actually like them. I don't want to just say, yeah, sure, I'll give you a book a plug. And it turns out I really didn't think much of it. But luckily, it's a really good book. This is an ebook of tips and things you will need to know if you're buying a narrowboat or intending to holiday on a narrowboat or live on a narrowboat, and it really is good stuff. It's the kind of things that people ask me in the comments all the time, and I say go and see my frequently asked questions page, but this is like the biggest ever frequently asked questions page about narrowboating. And for £1.99, seriously, buy it for yourself, buy it for a friend, buy a copy as a stocking filler for anybody you know who likes anything to do with narrowboats. It's well written, it's got everything you could ever want to know about useful things of living on a narrowboat. So there you go, Roger, that's your book plugged, and I'm not just plugging it because he's a mate, it actually is worth your £1.99. So that's it for this vlog. I'm hoping to get out and do another vlog between now and Christmas, and then there will be a Christmas Day vlog as well. Thanks very much for watching. Cheers now. Bye bye.